Alright, so before I start losing my mind more, the viewer budget, what is your, it's Enzo. Okay, so your name on Discord's Enzo, so I don't mix you up. Enzo's got a code. He's Diamond 3 Flex DPS playing Genji on Survasa. And this is on an alt account with his friend in Diamond 3. So a short, you could put it in the chat real quick, but what is it that you want me to basically observe for you, give you perspective on? Because where not wrong thing. What am I doing? There you are. I moved my controller. What the heck? Yeah. So what is it you're looking for perspective on? Because I could pretty much do it all. Also, if you could help me out real quick, I don't know what your name is or what your team is, so you kind of got to give me a name there. Okay, positioning. I can definitely help with that. Yeah, so... yep, there he is. Haha! Right, literally right away. Okay. So let's bring it to the start of the match. What is everybody running? So you... oh, boy. Used to main Doom and Overwatch 1. Fly over roofs. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that indefinitely. Alright, so... playing Genji, your teammates are Reinhardt, I can tell you why you lost, Lucio Kiriko, and your fellow DPS is Reaper. I mean, all in all, that's actually not a bad combination for a team, but Reinhardt is not a strong pick as of recently, or at all. Let's be completely honest with each other. It's very hard to make him work. Then on the enemy team, you're going to have McCree and Tracer. You're going to have Lucio Moira. It's always a combination between those two. Lucio is the must-pick as of recently. And then Orisa. I hate to say it, Orisa v. Reinhardt is not an easy one anymore. Yeah. I was about to say, because it's comp and not a scrim. Oh, you do scrims. Okay. So that explains a little bit at the very least. Right, so let's see. So we're starting the engagement. Let's quickly get an overview, and man, that sucks. Okay. I thought that I'd be able to get a higher advantage point here, but it looks like indoors is going to screw me. All right. The phone. First off, what is your sensitivity? I just saw you like 183 times in a row. Second, you forced McCree to swap off to Soldier. And number 3, I don't think you need my help, because that looked like... First off, let's just go back for like 2 seconds. Oh, wrong thing. So the team fight begins. We're going to play this at 75% speed, maybe 50. So good reverse right there. You reverse the orb. Perfect. You're with your tank. You're in good position right now. No arguments. No problems. Now you take high ground. You're using your mobility. I don't need to correct anything you did. You did everything right here. Now, McCree notices that and tries to go for you. I'm just trying to process everything that happened. It was so quick. Man, bro. Okay, so you're on PC. That explains everything. I'm like, even at 100 cents, I can't achieve that. Jesus. Literally. Yeah, so you pretty much did. Okay, so yeah, that's when he actually goes away. It looks like Reinhardt's doing everything good. Do you win this match or do you lose this match? If you could answer that during time. I'm just going to continue on with it. Okay, so you went up, you distracted, that was good. Who's attacking you right now? It is the Moira, okay. Okay. Good use of walking in her face and deflecting. You're saving your Reinhardt some trouble. And then you immediately back up into him, so you're protecting yourself once your deflect is down. You're taking an off angle, so you're immediately in the best position possible. Soldier should be coming in within the next few seconds. Good use of taking an angle. Good elimination on Moira. You see, I can't even really critique this because there's nothing to critique. You're doing everything right. The moment, like, you recognize when you need to take cover, you recognize when you need to back up, you recognize when you take an off angle. You have the advantageous positioning. Your positioning is actually pretty prime. If I could only make one suggestion about your positioning, no, I actually couldn't. I actually couldn't. So I believe there is actually one thing I can correct. So you would be able to tell me better than myself. But as I understood it, when you're gold and below, it has to do with improving as a player, because that's where the middle of the player base goes. Gold and below, that's where a majority of the player base goes down in skill. The moment you start hitting high gold, low plat, you start to recognize the need for hyperactivity. And not hyperactivity, hyper aggression. But unfortunately, it's a powerhouse without direction, is the best way I could describe that hyper-aggressiveness. So it's hyper-aggressive, you're becoming more aggressive in your playstyle, you're becoming more aggressive in your positioning, you're becoming more aggressive in your pressure. And it's the moment that you start hitting high plat, low diamond that it becomes a tad bit more refined, but the hyper-aggression also steps up with it. So it's kind of catching up to mirror, like if it was here and this is where the control of that hyper-aggression went, it kind of moves up with each other. So you improve upon that hyper-aggression, but you're still hyper-aggressive. And you don't lack direction like you do in plat, but you don't have direction like you do the moment you start hitting high masters, low grandmasters. And you are a masters player, so you're playing in a diamond lobby as a masters player, masters habits formulating in here. The only thing that I would offer to correct here is that your Reinhardt is in a little bit of a pickle. And it looks like he's coming back up. So at this point, I would have probably moved in and done a pincer, like maybe take up here, just a spitball. You could really have gone down here and still gotten as much value. You can jump your Genji. But I would have just done that. But either way, it ends up... What the heck? It ends up working out for itself, so... Ah, you lost your tank, though. Okay, so it didn't fully work out. Yeah, you have good direction, though. I honestly can't complain. That little critique means nothing. Your positioning is really good right now. And another thing, if anybody's going to learn a lesson from this, I would hope that everybody learns this lesson. I don't know what your accuracy is. I don't know how many of your shots you're actually hitting. But I can tell you that you do something that a lot of the players that I'm now starting to coach in low silver don't do. And that would be, you still apply pressure. And you're smart about it, which is good, you apply pressure by throwing your shurikens, and even if you get one hit out of the three, you don't always need to deal damage to put pressure. You're forcing them back because now they have to reconsider, like, oh, I got hit. I'm out of cover. So, oh, you're also... Ooh. Don't lose your Kiriko. Ryan! Why, Ryan? Why, Ryan? Okay, maybe he was in front of you. I think he would have gotten stuck irregardless. But good attempt on the deflect, but Ryan kind of picked that out for you and just let his shield take the brunt. That's a warm-up game, it's a warm-up game, but at least you know it. Ow. This one's weird. I don't even think that this is anything to improve upon, because obviously you're watching your back. I mean, there's really no right answer to this. I would have said that if Ryan was going to be taking the brunt, I would immediately start the diving process on Soldier and Lucio. You probably don't know where everybody else is, though, but Tracer's making her way around. By forcing the dive, Soldier will be forced to use his resources. Yeah, I don't think that there's any real right reason. To be honest, I'm thinking about three things. If you did dive the back line up there, you'd put pressure on them from putting pressure on your tank, and the current Lucio-Reinhardt combo could take care of Tracer. But you wouldn't know Tracer was not there. Plus, their tank is coming back from spawn. I doubt you knew that as well. Unless you were keeping tabs on it. What the heck? Oh, that's where your Kiriko died. Okay. I was like, how did she get up there? So yeah. By going for the dive, you take away this brunt right here, and Soldier, he's reliant on his aim. I don't know what your... Yeah, you're off your deflect, so it probably wasn't going to be a good idea. It was a possibility, but your cooldowns heavily depend on it. The next thing you could have done was go after Moira, which is what you ended up doing. But I would have stuck with the team in this instance, because it looks like your Reinhardt's kind of absorbing some pressure right now. But staying with your Lucio is going to keep you up, and there's no reason to leave right now. If anything, I just would have taken the high ground and let your Lucio do the groundwork and force her to divide her attention. Which, if you took the high ground, you would have avoided getting killed by Tracer from behind. Yeah, this looked like it was going to be a scuffed team fight no matter what you picked, though. I can't even... Dang. Alright, Sam, I'll have a look at that in just a second. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do myself a favor and highlight your message, so that way I can find it in a little bit. Okay, so you're coming back. Yeah, so let me go back a step too. So when I was mentioning with you throwing your kunais, I know you said this is a warm-up match. Do you need to get eliminations, period, to get value? The short answer is no. You know that, but look at what you're doing. You're not aiming to get kills on D.Va. You're not aiming to do anything but get some pot shots off and build your ultimate. Your value's not coming from trying to get kills. Your value's trying to come from putting pressure that even if you're only hitting 1 out of the 3 shuriken, or maybe 2 out of 9, you're still firing in the direction and putting pressure. And that's something to kind of like duly note right here, is that you're not getting all your hits with your things, which everybody in a lower rank thinks you need to get high accuracy. It's true, but you need to understand you don't need to get eliminations to get value, and this is good habit to keep a track of. I had a nickel for every time that happened. Your Reaper swapped off to Sojourn. Your The enemy's Orisa turned to Diva. Okay. Dang. Tracer v Genji is complicated. Good elimination. Man, nothing to critique there. That was actually perfect. Well, that's gotta be annoying. Finally a cat. Did your Sojourn goes Torbjorn? And your tank goes Doom. Oh. Well, it's better than Rhine. I can't complain. Also, Doom. Moira is relentlessly pursuing you, and that's showing. Doom is a much better counter to Diva than Rhine. She can't block his abilities with Defense Matrix. She can stop his knuckles, but she really cannot do anything about the crowd control. So, good spot. Good spot. But Moira picking on you is kind of like annoying. Dang. Good on you for waiting for your tank. I'm ready to unleash the molten core. So you're recognizing the need to stick with your team, and I love it. Because I see that you're aware. Your game sense is up there. Your game sense is better than mine. Only critique for this team fight in general is maybe on the hyper aggression you could take an off angle and just come up here and dash back directly to your team if you get pressed. But again, this is also a diamond lobby like you were mentioning. Maybe that's not viable. You would tell me better. But by dividing their attention, your team can press and get in. Because it looks like Soldier's now running into your team, and it looks like Tracer. Where did she go? Inside Diva.
There they are. Get ready.
Yeah, like you can. There are times to stick with your team. There are times to split away. And I see that you recognize when you can do these things prominently. I think the off angle there would definitely be good. Yeah, the Moira seems to be the bane of your existence, and it looks like Tracer is doing her job too in trying to take advantageous off angles. So she's doing the same thing you are, so you have to contest with... I'll talk in a second. I just saw something else. Yeah, it looks like their Tracer's doing a good job to also do the same thing that you are doing. And your enemy Moira is also trying to counter you, because she's one of the only few that can. Lucio can't counter you fully, Tracer can't counter you fully, Diva kinda counters you to a certain extent, Soldier you counter to a pretty heavy extent too, and then Moira is hard to counter because she could just honestly left click you to death and you can't do anything. And then your team, your tank just keeps swapping, bro. Doomfist would have been a good pick against D.Va. Zarya's a good pick against D.Va, so he's not picking badly, but why so many swaps within like 2 seconds? Torbjorn's turret doing the finishing work. I love it. Good take. Good kill on Soldier. Take the pressure, take the pressure. Perfect. Dang, bro. So, it doesn't look like you're having trouble so much with Moira as you are having trouble pinning her down and stopping her from bugging you. Because eliminating her doesn't seem to be too much of an issue compared to the rest of the heroes. They went monkey? They swapped. Oh my god, they're really just trying to hard counter it. Okay, so I can't say for sure whether or not you are the win condition, but I can definitely say that you're the most consistent win condition because your DPS has literally made more swaps than anyone on your team. Your tank is coming in close second. And to counter Zarya, they went monkey. And even further still, they swapped off their Tracer to go Genji, I guess, to counter you. I'm not 100% certain why they did that, because Tracer was looking like she's getting decent value. And then they swap off their Soldier to Mei. So now you have 2 heroes you need to worry about. Actually, no, 3 heroes. Excuse me, I forgot about Winston for 2 seconds. You have 3 heroes to worry about. You can't deflect Winston's primary or secondary, you can't deflect Mei's primary, and you cannot deflect Moira's primary. But you can deflect the Icicle, and you can deflect the Orb. You're kind of at a losing situation. I think they're just trying to hard counter you at this point. They've recognized enough of the win condition on the DPS side of things to note that if they can remove your value, their Torbjorn can't measure up. And it looks like your support went from Kiriko to Zen. I don't know if that just happened. But Zen's a good pick all around. Let's be 100% honest. Hopefully, the Discord Orb game is on point. I almost expected you to dive off the edge there. Just saying. Good pre-fire. So I didn't notice that they swapped to Genji just to swap to Soldier, so I totally just missed that for like a second. Good capture on point. Bro, can nobody make up their mind about swapping? Bro! Now they swapped the Soldier from Genji, which I pointed out earlier, and then the Mei swapped off to Reaper. This is becoming, like, honestly... Wow, it's hard to keep up with. I'm just going to say that. You know what's funny? I'm trying to curb my language, and I've been cursing, like, for the entire time before this, so. 3 more minutes, you definitely win this. Good bubbles to keep... Bruh. First off, your Zarya. MVP behavior right there. She bubbled you. Did she bubble you twice, or did she just bubble you once? Bubbles you once. Ah, okay, so she bubbled you once. You don't... Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, nobody in the lower ranks can work together enough, coordinatedly enough, to have that kind of behavior. I've heard it from my friend, like, back in Overwatch 1 when it's like, oh, when you have a Reaper and you're playing Zarya, bubble your Reaper so that he doesn't get CC'd into oblivion trying to Death Blossom. And what you just did is, like, you don't see that in the lower ranks very often. You got bubbled while using Blade, which means that there was no CC, there was no immediate killing you off because they had to get through a bubble. Like, bro. Yeah, there you go. She bubbled you at least, there you go. Don't ever take that for granted whenever you have that. Let's just actually go back for a second. Let me see. Reaper forces you back. Dang, the mistiming on that. I had to pay attention to the ultimate timing. Ah, that sucks. Okay. Could you have done anything to better position? I would have actually said try and get Reaper off top end instead of going this way. Go around, take a little bit more time, let the team... Because you're not pushing in. None of you are sacrificing your positioning, thus, if any of you dies, it's inconsequential. It's just a matter of if, not when. But... when, not if. But by diving in, you're now into the team fight. You could have gone this way, is what I would have thought better. Because you saw it earlier that Reaper was the one who pushed you back. That even if you don't eliminate the Reaper, or even if he pushes you back again, you've taken him away from the choke point so that your team doesn't get ambushed if they make too close a push. And even if you aren't the one getting pushed back, you now push him back into the fight, and he can only defend up close. By diving in, you did take away attention from your team, because now you're in the back. And... what does Moira do? Does she look for you? Yeah, she pretty much looks for you. Yeah, everybody just looks for you at that point. Yeah. I mean, thankfully your Lucio beats after, so this team fight is won on your end, but... yeah. I honestly would have taken the top left and pushed Reaper down. Because even if he pushed you back, you take him away from it, and your team is still doing the press in that choke. It was very unlucky timing, too, because the moment you use your blade, Lucio uses his beat. Like, you couldn't be more unlucky. Good at taking up high ground. He didn't last a second. My dude did not last a single second. He made it into there, shot one shot off, and got domed. Faster than you could say hippopotamus. But, if there's one benefit, you did indeed push Soldier off the high ground, so, you know, there's benefit to that. Good, taking high ground yet again. So you see, I'm a Soldier main myself, and he's doing the right thing. The moment that you deflect, he runs, because he makes you burn your cooldown, and then he could re-engage. What would we would assume to be a safer engagement distance? How many more minutes left? 1 minute? So they probably catch this point right now, as I assume. I think you're gonna die, aren't you? First off, I never knew that that health pack was there. Good on you for escaping death, like, narrowly. Number two, good pressure and good recognition that you needed to get the hell out of Dodge. I can't.
I'm on fire!
Yeah, they took the point. That's all you could do. That's all you can do. He activates Visor, just activate your deflect. You just removed half his value because he had to stop firing for 2 seconds. You were the only one he could shoot. Hold the phone for like 2 seconds.
Into the iris.
Unfortunate. In a minute and a half, your Lucio built up his ult. In a minute and a half, Lucio, one of the most difficult heroes to get ult value from, because his ult requirement is so high. In fact, that was less than a minute and a half. No, that was that was a minute and a half. I mean, don't get me wrong, it could have probably been a little faster, or maybe it's about the average, but you don't usually see a Lucio beat for like 2 to 3 minutes in like the lower ranks, so color me impressed that he got his ult literally within a minute and a half. Because it climbed pretty quickly. This probably... I'll let Budget be the one to share this detail. Wow. Wow.
Fire at will.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. He ults a Grav and then gets eliminated within like a split second, bro. Bro. A gold Lucio that knows what he's doing. A gold Lucio that knows what he's doing and builds his ult quick? I'll give him that. I'll give him that. I can play in these lobbies. Oh my lord. Good on the boostio, indeed.
Be waiting if you want to.
But what I'm more surprised about that just happened here is that there's a Lucio that did a beat, gained 750 barriers, and then immediately lost all of them within like a second of using it. Dude.
Fear the focused warrior. No one can withstand me.
How big is your brain? Because Can I get a larger image, please? Please? Can I get a larger image, please? Where? There's unfortunately not even a bigger image. All of them are way too small. Ah, there we go. Really? Where's the view image tab? Open image in new tab. Is that it? Yep, there we go. So this is what I imagine your head looks like right about now. Take that as you will. Take that as you will. No, I want to discard the changes. Yeah, discard the changes. Yep. So yeah, we got that right there. The brain play is massive. Like, honestly, I was actually like blown away, the big brain. Like, you knew he was going to recall, and you're like, no, I'll just blade right here. Usually no candidate. Oh, rewind. What? Wait, what about Carl pregnant? What now? I'm not a fan of Jimmy Neutron. I watched that episode, though, which is why I brought it up. Oh my god. Of course they go Symmetra. And of course Lucio just tries to survive, like they're gonna get the point. Alright. I have Zero critique because I loved every second of that. It's actually good to get viewpoints from a higher rank than I've ever achieved. I actually played against some diamonds, but it wasn't a very enjoyable experience. But the only thing that I could offer from my perspective, you did pretty much everything right. I have like zero to add, other than you could stand to be a little bit more aggressive on off-angle pressure, because you're playing Genji. Playing with your team's not always a problem, but you have the capability above any other hero on the roster to put on off-angle pressure and then get back with your team. Even if you don't use your dash to engage, you could use it as a disengage tool too. And deal some damage along the way, let's just be honest. So, all in all, that's the only thing I could really say is, like, the problem with your positioning is, like, you could stand to be a little bit more creative with your off-angle pressure. But honest to God, that was good. I got no complaints, and I got nothing but praise for that entire thing. But thank you for the opportunity to do that. That was fun.